Good morning, everyone, and happy Monday. So, I'm not going to be able to do a live stream this morning, but I didn't want to leave you guys hanging. So, I thought I would just do a private video and look up some true crime for you guys. Now, let's see what's going on. I spent the whole weekend hanging out with Mark, so I'm really behind on the true crime news. I got an article pulled up here. I was just trying to get down some of the ads. I see that there was a missing toddler from Colorado, went missing, I believe it was Saturday evening. They have found her little body, unfortunately, in a canal not too far away from her family's home. So let's just take a look at this. Update: child's body found in search for missing Colorado toddler. Searchers looking for a missing Grand Junction toddler on Sunday found the body of a small child who matched the description of Adelisa, who is age 3 years old, who is believed to have wandered away from her home early Saturday evening. The Mesa County Sheriff's Office said the coroner was working on identification and notification of next of kin and would release the name when that was complete. The family wants to thank the community for their support and compassion and has asked for privacy during this time, the sheriff's office said in a statement. A GoFundMe account has been set up in the family's name. Deputies responded to a call about a missing child at 6:15 p.m., the sheriff's office said. The family reported that Adelisa, who answers to the name of Addie Ray, had last been seen just 15 minutes before. Authorities began to drain the Grand Valley Irrigation Canal earlier Sunday to help searchers look for the girl. As the water level dropped, searchers in a helicopter spotted something in the water and sent deputies in to investigate. The deputies found the child's body not far from where Addie Ray disappeared. Dozens of searchers looked for the girl on Saturday until nightfall and then returned to search Sunday morning. Oh, that is so sad. I'm telling you, I never did live next to water when my son was a toddler. Water always scares me around little kids. Now, sometimes I know people can't help where they live at, but it's just dangerous to have a large body of water around when you got toddlers because you can just turn your back for a second and they're gone. There's been 2 or 3 kids that have wandered off this past summer and were found in water, deceased. It's so sad. Okay. Prayers for Addie Ray's family. She is such a little cutie. The next one we're going to do, let's look at this. Louisiana mom beats 9-month-old. Oh my gosh. Hold on just a minute. I want to put up my banner for child abuse and suicide prevention hotline number. Never know who's watching. Okay, after a months-long investigation, Louisiana authorities have charged a 29-year-old woman in the death of her 9-month-old son. Shreveport police said they responded to a call on May 2nd about a baby suffering from blunt force injuries to his body. Harlem Joseph was taken to Ochsner LSU Health, Shreveport, where he was pronounced dead. I probably didn't pronounce that right. On Saturday, police said they took out a warrant for Sharon Johnson, charging her with second-degree murder in the baby's death. Johnson was already in the Caddo Parish Correctional Center, where she was being held after her May 9th arrest on a charge of second-degree cruelty to juveniles, stemming from the beating of her 2-year-old daughter. So this is not the first child that she has beat on. Evil. She's being held on a $25,000 bond for the cruelty charge, a $500,000 bond for the murder charge, according to the jail records. And I just want to say something. If you cannot handle your children, please reach out for help. There's all kinds of services out there to help single parents or parents that you know, just there's just services out there to help. If you can't handle your kid, you don't got the patience, please reach out for help. Put them into foster care. If you don't want them and you think that you're going to harm them, I will just never be able to understand how anyone could harm their own child or any child for that matter. It blows my mind. Thank God she's in jail. And she's probably not going to get out of jail. She's probably going to be found guilty for murdering her 9-month-old son. And that's a good thing. Because if she did get out and she had another child, she would beat on that child as well. Gosh, this really gets me riled up, y'all. Let me see what else we were going to look at. Another child beat to death. Only in this couple's care for 2 months. So they were foster parents to this toddler. There's some good foster parents out there, but there's also some bad ones. There's people out there that just do it for the money. This is also in Colorado. A lot of things happen out of Colorado, Florida, Texas, and Ohio, I've noticed. A Colorado foster mom and her boyfriend were arrested last week following an investigation into the death of a 15-month-old boy in their care. Daisy let me see if I can say this name. Daisy Penusi, 31, was charged with child abuse resulting in death, and Ramondo Jones, 36, was charged with murder of a child under 12 years old by a person in a position of trust. He was already in jail on an unrelated charge. The victim, Aiden Seeley, was placed with Penusi on July 23rd. He was taken from the Pueblo West home on September 16th after a report of an unresponsive child and flown to Colorado Springs, where he died 2 days later. An autopsy after the boy's death revealed that he died from injuries sustained from child abuse, the sheriff's office said, and that the injuries took place while he was in Penusi's care. I'm not sure I'm saying that name right. She don't deserve her name pronounced correctly. You got to think about it this way. This child was took from his biological mother or parents because of some kind of abuse, placed in a home with this Penusi woman who was supposed to care for him, protect him. And what did she do? Her and her boyfriend beat him to death. They deserve the death penalty for this. 3 other foster children and a biological child of Spinuzzi had with Jones were also in the home. The foster children were placed in protective custody, and the biological child was placed with a family member. The sheriff's office released no further information, saying that the arrest affidavits had been sealed. This is an unthinkable tragedy that no child should have to ever endure, said the Pueblo County Sheriff Kirk M. Taylor. The arrests that were made in this heinous, senseless crime are a result of the relentless work by our detectives. I thank them for their meticulous and diligent work in assuring that those responsible are brought to justice. So both these pieces of crap are being held in the county jail. I think you pronounce that Pueblo? Maybe I'm not saying it right. These child abuse cases, guys, they really get me riled up. It really bothers me. This child was taken from its biological mother, placed in the care of these 2 pieces of crap who was supposed to provide him a better life. But what did they do? They beat the poor child. And I could about bet you my bottom dollar that they weren't beating on their biological child, though. Sick. They deserve the death penalty. Let's see. There were some more things. There was an older couple I saw the article about that went on a hiking trip and someone murdered them. Right here it is. Let's look at this. I had only glanced at these articles before I started doing this, by the way. Or I would have looked up how to pronounce the names correctly. But that's okay. You guys know how I am. I never pronounce anything correct. And I don't mind if people help me with my pronunciation in the comment section. Just be nice about it. That's all I ask. Be nice and respectful. Okay, a homicide investigation is underway after an elderly couple was found dead early Saturday morning in Colorado. Goodness gracious, another case from Colorado. Lee and Stella Vigil had been reported missing at about 8:30 p.m. on Friday because they had not returned from a hike near the Edmondson trailhead. Family members and police officers went to the trailhead and found a vehicle belonging to the Vigils, who both were in their 70s. El Paso County search and rescue crews were dispatched to the scene, and the bodies of the pair were found shortly after midnight Saturday off of the trail along a creek. Both had apparent gunshot wounds. Detectives from the Sheriff's Violent Crimes Section homicide and assault units are now leading the investigation. The Edmondson Trailhead is about 8 miles north of downtown Colorado Springs. KRDO interviewed people along the trail after the bodies were discovered. Those who spoke said they were concerned about their safety and the safety of their loved ones. I don't want my wife to come here alone, Morty Zand told KRDO. She always has to come with me from now on, if we come back. Michael Hollenbeck told KRDO he recognized the couple from his time on the trail. Up until today, I usually feel pretty good, Hollenbeck told KRDO. You have to be a little careful. Sometimes there are some sketchy people. It's sad. It's upsetting. I think I've seen them on the trail before. Authorities have not released any details about possible suspects or a motive. Crime Online will provide further updates when more information is available. And I'm going to keep up with this case. See what happens with it. As I was reading this, I thought to myself, did they go do like a double suicide? I mean, that's possible. A lot of times people will get up in age and they will decide to do that. Now, that may not be the case here, but that did cross my mind. Could they have done this to themselves? Hopefully, they'll put out some more updates right now. Praying for this couple's family. They were such a cute couple. They looked really happy in this picture here. Okay. So let's go back. See what else is going on. I see a Watts article. Oh my gosh, they've been putting out a lot of Watts articles ever since that Netflix documentary. I've been trying not to read them. I mean, most of the stuff they come out with, we already know. Let's read this about Suzanne Morphew. I did read this yesterday. And it says, in an appearance on the Dr. Phil show, the brother of missing Colorado woman said he is convinced Suzanne Morphew was murdered and offered new information about the timeline. The Mother's Day weekend she was reported missing. Andy Mormon organized a volunteer search last week in Chaffee County, Colorado, where Suzanne and her husband, Barry Morphew, had been living since 2018. Mormon had said that trained cadaver dogs appeared to have hit on multiple areas during the 5-day search. But authorities in Colorado examined the areas and said in a statement earlier this week that nothing of evidentiary value was found. I know I didn't pronounce that right. But in a clip of a scheduled appearance on Dr. Phil, Mormon tells the talk show that he is confident investigators are building a case against Barry Morphew, though authorities have not named a person of interest or suspect in the disappearance. In the interview, Mormon revealed for the first time that he believes Suzanne was killed sometime on the Saturday night before she was reported missing. She was in town with Barry getting a sandwich at 4 p.m., Mormon said. At midnight, somebody friended all of the guys my age on her Facebook at midnight. Wow, that's suspicious. Could Suzanne have done that? Barry found out and snapped that night? That's a possibility. Or someone else could have had Suzanne's phone pretending to be her friend requesting all these guys Andy Mormon's age. Mormon told Dr. Field that he believes Suzanne was killed sometime after 4 p.m. Then someone involved manipulated her Facebook account, but it's not clear who or why. Mormon also said that data on Barry Morphew's vehicle does not correspond with the timeline he gave police about his activity on Sunday morning, but did not go into specifics in the episode clip about what type of data and how it conflicts with what Barry Morphew told investigators. As previously reported, authorities in Colorado have released very few details about the investigation and have not revealed what evidence they have against any possible suspects. Police have never publicly commented on Barry Morphew's alibi that weekend. Morphew has claimed that he went to Broomfield, Colorado to work on a landscaping job the day Suzanne was reported missing, but it remains unclear when he is said to have left his home in Maysville for the 3-hour drive. That is very interesting. So Barry leaves to go do a job on Mother's Day morning, early Mother's Day morning. That totally does not make any sense. I'm with Andy Mormon on this. I believe his theory. I believe he's onto something. Sorry, let me get a drink of coffee. I believe he's onto something. Okay, so Suzanne and Barry were seen in town somewhere around 4 p.m. Okay. At midnight, someone starts sending friend requests to a bunch of men Andy Mormon's age. I find that very, very odd. Could Suzanne have been killed after 4 p.m. and then someone used her Facebook to send these friend requests to make people think she was still alive at midnight? I think Andy's onto something with that, and I'm agreeing with him. That makes total sense to me, because I just don't see Suzanne all of a sudden sending friend requests to these men that are her brother's age. I mean, it's possible she could have done that, and Barry found out about it and snapped, but I think someone else was using Suzanne's phone so that people would think she was still alive at midnight. I think she was already deceased by that time. That's my thoughts on it. Anyways, guys, I guess that's it for our true crime news this morning. I will see y'all tomorrow. Y'all have a great day. Be safe, be kind, and peace.